Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Sonic Love. So in today's video, I am super excited to show you the RG35XX SP. No doubt you have seen lots of videos on YouTube, but I have been so patiently waiting for mine to arrive because this is an absolute love letter and pure nostalgia to me, as the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP and the Game Boy Micro are just by far the best Nintendo handheld that has ever been produced. The games, the Game Boy Advance games alone, the catalogue, the array of games is just something that just brings pure nostalgia to me. And the fact that we now have a retro handheld, and with the RG35XX and H7 range, we also know that it's going to be really good on performance for a, I'd say, low-end device. So I'm really pumped and excited. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the unboxing. So here we have the usual standard box. It does look like it had a little bit of damage in the top left hand corner, and not only that, but looks like it's had like ink smudges over the front. But there is 4 different colours. You can get the silver, the grey, the blue transparent, and the black transparent. I've gone with the blue transparent. Nothing really much. I did just cut the tabs pre the video just to make it quick, but you can see it looked like it'd been knocked around in the postage, which is a shame. So let's get this open quick. I've been so excited for this, guys. So mine I got off eBay. It was from the Anbernic official store on eBay. So I will be no doubt posting pictures after this video, probably on my community page, so no doubt you have seen it already. Yeah, but this one itself comes with a different case, I think, compared to the actual website itself. I will leave a link to the eBay site itself just so you can get it if you want, because I just think that this looks absolutely incredible. Let's see what type of... Yep, so it looks like that it is a magnet clasp, which is really nice. It is leather, so that's pretty cool. So we usually get a screen protector and some baby wipes and a toilet paper manual, as Mr. Wicked Gamer and Collector would say. So if you see here that it is absolutely well made, the case itself, it smells nice. I can smell it from here. And it does come with a magnetic clasp. So inside we should have the SP. Super pumped for this. I'm virtually shaking. Oh, look at that blue transparent, is really nice. So it looks like we have a headphone jack and 2 SD card slots. On the back, it does look like you can get in to get the battery replaced, but obviously you have a screw. At the top we have shoulder buttons. I do believe that they're quite rattly. Oh, not too bad. But yeah, some modding could be done to fix that. Mini HDMI and also OTG and also USB. On the other side we have volume up and down, but it's a little bit bigger than the Game Boy SP, and it's quite heavy. It's a very heavy device, but yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, let's open it up. Oh, that's just absolute class. Look at that. It is a thing of beauty. So let's check the D-pad. So it is using dome switches, which is very clicky, but there's one thing that I'm noticing straight away, guys. I'm quite a heavy user of the thumbstick, or I'm a heavy user of the analog stick or the D-pad itself. I can't feel a pivot inside straight away. So if I push down, you can press all 4 buttons straight away. Does that make sense? Normally you have something in the middle that prevents you from pressing all 4 directions. And the last D-pad that I knew that had this type of scenario on 8-way games, so like arcade or anything that you use an 8-way devices, like say like even some fighting games, because you press it down, you're pressing all 4 buttons when you're doing moves. So if you press hard down on it, then that might be a problem. Oh dear, I don't like that straight away. We'll have to test it out when we fire it up, but it looks like it has a menu button. We have our A, B, X, Y. They're also quite clicky. Same with start and select. They're louder actually. They're louder than the buttons themselves. Let's see what the menu's like. Oh, it's not too bad. So on the right hand side we have our power on and also our reset. So yeah, it looks really nice. Oh God, I've waited for so long for this. Now, we all know about the V90 and how well that went down. We loved it. It was great. But this is a step up and beyond. It is definitely a love letter. So let's jump in to see what the controls are like on the screen. So the SP has the same operating system as all the other H range itself. And this one also has a few unique features solely for this unit itself. If we go into apps, and if we go down to, so if we go into apps, you'll see that we have bezels auto. So when you close the lid, you can change how you want it to neither sleep or auto switch off, which is pretty cool. And also, if you don't like the bezels, you can also switch them over here also, and the shaders. So you can turn the shaders on and off also. Just let's turn them on if they're, so let's go to auto. So we should have bezels and shaders on just for the time being. But if you don't want to, that's how you do it. You go into apps. So yeah, pretty much the same. You can watch movies, listen to music. Pretty good stuff, all standard with this range. The screen itself has 5 levels of brightness, and the resolution is 640 by 480, so really does have a crisp and sharp image, which is nice for when you're playing your retro games. It can play some up to PSP, not all, but the games that run well, they work really well and look quite nice. You can not stretch it out, but you can moderate it. I will show later on in the video how you do that. So you do have large bezels on the top and bottom, but you can stretch it out just that little bit more, just to add a little bit more real estate of screen, just so it can make it a little bit more immersive and not have that letterbox effect. It plays Dreamcast very well, N64, but obviously you are limited, pretty much like the RG35XX due to the fact that not having an analog stick. So it will be interesting to see how that will work. I know that if you just tap the power button, it will change it from D-pad to analog. So that is pretty cool also. So let's get into some gameplay testing, but the screen is really, really nice. So let's go in and let's check out how the buttons feel and are they any good, and also this D-pad. But I've got a funny feeling that I'm not going to like this D-pad at all. It still doesn't deter the fact that I absolutely love it, and it's such a nostalgia trip for me. And I'm probably going to play lots of Game Boy Advance games on here, even though we can play higher end stuff. Yeah, it looks like the time limit has gone off as well. So it is a case of just tapping the power. Yep, that's pretty cool. So let's see what happens when we close it before we do some game testing. Does it go off? Yep, and it also has like a clippy magnet. And let's also just double check to see how far it can actually bend back. Not that you'd play it like that, but yeah, it does have yeah, it's really well made. That's one thing that I'll definitely give it, guys. It is solid. But first impressions, I absolutely love it. Shoulder buttons feel okay, but they're also clicky. Right, let's get into some gameplay and let's test this D-pad and see what it's all about. Going to start off light, so we're going to start off with NES 1942. You can see with the borders, looks quite nice. I'll say you can turn them off in the options. Saturation is really nice. Let's turn it down a second. Okay, so I am noticing that if you do thrash this around and you are quite heavy with it, so let me show you an example. If I go really, really light, I have 8-way, so I can go any direction, but I'm very, very light, but I don't play it like that. So if I play it my normal way, can you see how I'm absolutely stopping? And I'm going with a direction. That's because I have a heavy touch, but because there is no pivot in the middle, you are stuck. See, I'm just going left and right. I don't know if that's coming across. So you do have to be really light to the touch in order to have 8-way. But when you're playing games, your thumb's going all over the place. So I can see that being a problem for me. I may have to take it apart in another video and see if I can glue something underneath centrally, just so it prevents from actually pressing all 4 buttons. But apart from that, if you just play light, or you go round the edge like that and divert from being bang in the middle, then maybe you'll be okay. Maybe it's just something how you have to get used to it, maybe. Also, let's move on to something else. Go with some Star Fox for SNES. So I did play for it for a little bit after that first game, guys, just to actually see if and played it for about an hour just to get used to the actual D-pad. Yeah, if you press down quite heavily with your thumb, it just stalls if you press more than like 3 directions or 4 directions, because you're just pressing it heavy and then just rotating it round. It doesn't work. Like, look at that, I'm going round now. So yeah, that is an issue, especially for the way I play and how much force I press down. So I did have to like change my playing style and go more on the edge like this, so I avoid the center of it, which took a little bit of getting used to. So it's not all bad, but I definitely think it is definitely a design flaw. If you have one, let me know what you think, guys. Are you coming across with this issue as well? But yeah, SNES, as we all know, plays very well on here. No issues with the D-pad playing Sega Mega Drive, and it's sticking, so that's really good. So platformers are absolutely okay on here. The buttons feel nice and responsive as well, which is really nice. But yeah, the more I play it, guys, the more I'm getting used to the D-pad. It's just a learning curve and something that you have to get used to. But I will be doing a video on modding it to see whether we can rectify the lack of pivot in the middle and maybe not be able to press all 4 buttons at once, creating a pause in directional. But yeah, overall playing on it's really nice. It's quite comfortable, and it just brings back so many memories. I absolutely love it. I knew I would. It really is just a shame about the D-pad and the clicky buttons, really. I'd say they're the only 2 things that I'm not so happy with. Love to know in the comments, guys, did you get one? How long have you waited for this? Have you waited ever since the V90 and waiting for another one? I think Anbernic have like knocked it out of the park with build quality. It's just a shame about the D-pad, really. But everything else I absolutely thoroughly enjoy, and I'm loving it so much, it's unreal. Another thing that I really like about the H range and the operating software is just the amount of systems that are able to play right out the box. So the outer box experience for any newcomer is incredible, and it's a great experience. It may not be the best OS, but it is very easy to navigate. As you can see, we've got PSP, Open Bore, Dreamcast, PlayStation, Neo Geo, CPS 1, 2 and 3, Fanoben Neo, Homebrew, MAME games, Main, VK, all your vertical shooters, VS, Atari, Poke Mini, Pico 8, Game & Watch, Game Boy Advance, NES, SNES, Master System, 32X, Mega CD, Mega Drive, Game Gear, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, PC Engine, MSX, Wonder Swan, Neo Geo Color, and Neo Geo Pocket, PC Engine CD, Nintendo DS, N64, Atomic Wave, Naomi, and ports. So there is so much to play. I do think that this is one of the best, if not the best, out of the H range. I think if you want to play more games on the higher end systems, then I would recommend getting the RG35XX simply because it has analog sticks and you'll be able to utilize a lot more N64 games. But as I say, you can swap between, so let's test that out with a N64 game. Let's go with Wave Racer or Race.
Select your watercraft, please. to Sunny Beach.
Get ready for the first race. 3, 2, 1, go!
Not too sure whether this will be the best court to actually play it with, but as you can see, I'm pressing left and right and I can't actually go left or right. So if we tap the power button, that should swap it over to analog. There we go. So that's a really nice feature. But it seems to react really nice, even though it's a D-pad. Again, something you'd have to get used to, but definitely playable. Testing out some Nintendo DS. Obviously you can change with the trigger buttons. And if you tap the power button, you then start the stylus. If we press the stylus again, it will go back to using a D-pad. But yeah, you should have no problems and have a nice time with Nintendo DS. So with PSP, you can either have it full screen. In certain games it looks good in full screen mode, but some games they don't. They just, like, especially if it's like tall fighting games, they end up looking like matchsticks. But yeah, some games you can get away with it. But if you go to menu, and if you don't know, guys, you can play 30 FPS on God of War on here with the cheat. It should actually be part of it. So if we go to cheats, you'll see that we have the 30 frames or 60 frames. Doesn't quite work with the 60. Unlimited, it goes a bit choppy because obviously it's fluctuating, but there is a 30 FPS mode and it is pretty consistent. Definitely playable on here, that's for sure. But what I want you to know is that if you go to settings, and if we go down to display and layout, and if we press down and go across and we can go back up, we can actually change the aspect ratio, so we can make it smaller, wider. So I'd say that's what it looks like normally. So you can see that it's definitely got that letterbox effect, which is quite annoying because you have big black borders. But you can then just go back into settings and set it to how you would like it. So you can go to display and just make it a little bit bigger, but not full screen, but just a little bit more, just fill out a little bit more of that. I normally do I normally do 8.5 and that feels good to me. So we'll check out some Dreamcast and check out Street Fighter. Also, you'll have a really good time with Dreamcast on here. So what I'll do is turn the brightness down. So if we hold the menu and volume, you can lower it. Yeah, again, I just think sometimes when you're pressing down firmly, there is a chance that you're going to push all 4 buttons at once because you push it down, which is a shame. but I think I'll be able to fix it. But yeah, it's still enjoyable. If you're more conscious the fact that you try not to press down in the middle, it's not too bad. Let's see if I can inhale it and okay guys, so I'm going to leave it there for now as my unboxing and first impression. I absolutely love it. I've played it a lot more even though I'm recording the video, but in between recording I've been playing it quite a lot. The D-pad is the only issue that I have with this unit. Everything else I'm happy with. I absolutely love it. Game Boy Advance, I've been playing Minish Cap, and yeah, I can't get a bloody enough of it. I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm sure I'm going to be playing lots of Pokemon games on here as well. I think just playing Game Boy Advance on here for me would be more than acceptable and definitely worth the price point. I think this is incredible. I love the case that it comes with. It's really cool. In fact, just let me show you what that looks like inside the case. So if we get the case and put it in. And I think the case is, yeah, a really nice touch from Anbernic. So yeah, my first impressions are the build quality is really good, apart from the rattling buttons, but you know, we can mod that, that's pretty easy. The D-pad is the only issue that I have. The screen is beautiful, the build quality, the rest of the build quality is really nice, and if you just want that nostalgia kick, I would say get this within a heartbeat. I will do another video guys, and I will leave a link to where I got it from on eBay. I'll also leave the official Anbernic website to get it if you wish to get one from there also. And yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on it and feelings on it, because I can't get enough of it. In between the recordings I've just been playing it, and I've fallen in love with it. It's a love letter to GBA, and I can't get enough of it, and I'm so glad that they done it. It's just a shame about the D-pad really. But yeah, love to know in the comments if there's anything else you wish to see on here guys, if you want to see any testing. I will do some custom firmware videos as well, so if you want to see that, then please be kind to hit a like and also consider subscribing, and I would really appreciate that. And as always guys, take care.